Hey, we're moving on to the last part of our question. We have y equals to minus 2 f bracket x plus 1 close bracket whole thing plus 1. Then again, let's settle the transformation. So we have a MMA. So we will translate 1 unit negative x direction. Now we can either do scaling first and then reflection, because we have minus 2 and it's on the y variable. So for me, I like to scale first and then reflect. Alright, I like reflection to be done at the very last moment. Okay, so we'll scale 2 on y. Then from here, we will then reflect about the x-axis. Then after, we will translate 1 unit in the positive y. Alright. Okay, so what happens is this. There's a lot of transformations. So what you should do is, let's figure out the points first, right? The key points are your turning point over here, your another turning point, also the x and y intercept, origin, and then your asymptote as well. So let's settle the asymptote first. So your asymptote x equals to half, you translate 1 unit in negative x direction, it becomes negative half. Scale 2 units for scale 2 factor 2 on y doesn't affect anything, reflect x-axis doesn't affect anything, 1 unit positive y doesn't affect anything as well. Because, you know, if you reflect about the x-axis for your x asymptote is just reflecting a vertical line about this line of symmetry. That's just hilarious. Alright, so you have x equals to minus half as our asymptote. So now we focus on the left and right portion of the graph, right? It will be easier. So now we know that after so now we look at our origin, it was 0, 0. It now becomes minus 1, 0 after we translate 1 unit in the negative x direction. Scale y, 0 times 2 is 0. Reflect x-axis, minus 0 is 0. Translate 1 unit in positive y-axis, minus 1, 1. Alright, so we have the point at minus 1, 1. Now we look at the general shape of the left side. So we know that we shift this portion to the left. We scale by 2y, which means this would then be increasing. So these values here, let's say we have this value, it will be higher. Alright, because your y value is now multiplied by 2. Same thing for here. This side would be somewhere around this portion here. It would then be increased as well. So you need to draw a more steeper kind of curve upwards and downwards. And then you translate 1 unit positive y-axis. Well, since you have the turning point here, you just need to draw the turning point here, and it'll be easy. Alright, so accuracy doesn't really matter for the non-crucial points, but the shape is important. When you reflect about the x-axis, this becomes bottom, this becomes top. Alright, so your graph will look something like this. So instead of going downwards like this, it will now be upwards like this. Alright, because you reflect about the x-axis. Okay, so I'm going to try my best. So first of all, because you scale, you need to draw a very steep curve. So something like this. Alright, I'm going to try my very best. Wow, it's actually difficult. Okay, something like this. It definitely could be better, but I can't be bothered. So this, just label the corresponding point here, minus 1, 1. Alright, so now we're done on the left side. Let's take a look at the right. So for the right side, you scale 1 unit in the negative x-axis. We then get 1, 2 becoming 0, 2. Scale 2 units parallel to the y-axis. We then have 0, 4. Reflect about the x-axis. We then have 0, minus 4. Translate 1 unit positive y-axis, 0, minus 3. Okay, so we have a point at 0, minus 3, which is right down here. Now we have the shape of the graph, right? We had a U shape tending towards infinity in both sides. Now we have an N shape tending towards negative infinity. So it's quite simple, really. Again, turning point must still be turning point, so that doesn't change. But now from a minimum point, it becomes a maximum point. So we're going to try make it as a turning. Oh, I can't really draw. As a maximum point as possible. Of course, as you can see, I'm failing. And of course, because it scales, similarly draw a steeper graph as well, because it means that the negative infinity is getting faster towards negative infinity. Alright, so that is how we really sketch the graph, right? The crucial points and then the generic shape of the graph. Alright, so this is graph sketching for our transformations.